Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aintree Racecourse here on Thursday. It is the 13th of April, 2023. It's the first day of the Grand National meeting from Aintree, and I'm going to look at almost all the races on the program. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And I mean it around the world. Join me tomorrow for my Maker's Mark preview from Keeneland also. It looks like it's going to be an exciting race there, so I hope you join me for that. But we're going to look at almost all the races. Two races I'm not looking at are the Hunter's Chase, the 405, and the 515, which is the National Hunt flat race. We're going to skip over those two, so we'll look at races 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So five races to look at. Starting off with the first race, the 145, which is the Grade 1 Manifestos Novices Chase. It's a Grade 1 event for Class 1 horses going for a $144,000 purse race for novice 5-year-olds and upwards. Field of 5 horses going 4,000 meters or 2.5 miles over the chase course. My top selection, I'm going to go take the number 3 horse Stage Star. Let's go 3-2-1 in your TriCash trifecta. 3-2-1 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 3 horse Stage Star. 7-year-old gun by Fame and Glory. Paul Nichols trains. Harry Coben gets the mountain. I'm about to sneeze for like the last minute, so hopefully I don't. Off subject. But the horse's most recent outing came at the festival at Cheltenham, 16th of March. Soft ground, 2.5 miles in the Grade 1 Turner's Novice Chase. This horse really ran his heart out, winning by 3.5 lengths that day. He settled well. He jumped a terrific race. He quickened up nicely, and he destroyed the group of horses home. It was one of the horses I should have had that day. Really took off clear. Nothing bad about that run. Running back to Aintree, he had a little bit of a disappointing run over the smaller obstacles last year here, but I think he's a lot better horse coming this season, and I think he get the job done. Something I like about the going this week, it's going to be yielding, which I think is a perfect going for Aintree. Sometimes in years past, it's been lightning fast, which I don't think is really good. This year, it's in the good spot. Well, yielding spot, shall I say, if you pardon the pun. I think that's where you want to be, and it's going to be nice to going. Hopefully it doesn't dry out. Hopefully we get some rain. But two back, the horse ran the 20th of January at Cheltenham during preview day. 2 miles 5/8 in the Grade 2 in a Class 2 novice handicap chase, and he won by 3.5 lengths that day. Had a enormous weight of 168 pounds on his back, but he ran like the heavyweight should run. He settled well. He had the turn of foot, and he got up the hill well. A very good race for him there. And then prior to that, 2nd of January at Plumpton, 2.5 miles in Class 3 novice chase. He won by 11 that day, 11 cents to the dollar. Had one other rival. Basically one for fun. A very good race for him there. And then Newbury on the 25th of November, 2.5 miles in the Grade 2 Coral Club Racing Novices Chase. He finished second by five lengths that day, and he had a little bit of a tough trip, a little bit not clear jumps, and probably cost him. This season he's been pretty nicely going. He's been on the improve. Coming here today, I think he's a live winner. The 2 horse Saint Wa, I think you could use him in your play spot that begins with this race. At Cheltenham, he just never was comfortable that day. He moved a little bit late, but he still needed more. He's the kind of horse I think he goes up a lot with the extra half mile. Prior to that, in the Irish Arkle at Leopardstown on the 4th of February, he didn't finish the race. He lost Mark Walsh. What can you do? He just couldn't stay afloat there. And then before that, in the Racing Post app novice chase at Leopardstown on Boxing Day, 2 miles and 8 there, he won by 2.25 lengths, and again took off clear. His form hasn't been half bad. I think he's been crying out for the 2.5 miles. He's a place pot horse also. We'll use him there. But to recap my selection for the 145, the first race from Aintree, it's the Grade 1 Manifestos Novices Chase. We're going to use the 3 horse Stage Star. Give kudos to the 2 horse Saint Wa. 3-2-1 TriCash trifecta. 3-2 in your place pot. The second race, the 220. It is the Grade 1 Anniversary 4-year-old Juvenile Hurdle. It's a Grade 1 event for Class 1 horses going for a $132,000 purse race for juvenile 4-year-olds here. Field of 11 horses going the distance of ground here of 3,400 meters or 2 miles and 1/8 over the hurdle course. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 4 horse Nurist. I'm going to go 4-11-1 in your TriCash trifecta. 4-11-1 TriCash trifecta. Top selection, 4 horse Nurist. 4 called by Golden Horn. Joseph O'Brien trains this one. Daryl Jacob gets the mount on this one. The horse's most recent outing, he missed Cheltenham. He bypassed Cheltenham for today, which I think is really nicely for this one. He ran 25th of February at Kempton, 2 miles in the Grade 2 Adonis Juvenile Hurdle, and he won by 1/4 lengths. Bit of an upset, 7-2. That day, he basically jumped like a winner. He quickened up a lot on the front end, and he kept going. A very good race, finally finding a little good ground. He's finding ground just a little bit too soft in Ireland. Coming to the UK, he really improved a lot. He's going to see yielding ground, which I think he should absolutely adore, and I think he can improve and really run a good race. Like I said, I like that they switched over Cheltenham to come here to Aintree today. not the world's toughest spot for him. Two back, he saw a very soft ground in Juvenile Hurdle at Ferry House, 14th of January over the 2 miles. He finished third by 19 lengths that day. He moved a little bit late, but it wasn't anything spectacular. And also, I just don't think he handled the going that day. And then Leopardstown on Boxing Day, 2 miles in the grade 2 the night Frank Juvenile Hurdle. He finished third by 17 lengths. He didn't quicken up, but he didn't weaken out of it either. Like I said, going probably got to him. He won before that at Punchestown in Juvenile Hurdle quite nicely. Good ground, 2 miles, 16, 20th of November, winning by 6 lengths, and he basically won easily in a trot. A very, very good race, a very good speed figure he came home with that day. Refreshing here, I love him here at 6-1. I definitely use in your tickets. A bit of an upset, well, not upset, 11 horse Zenta is your second likeliest winner, the filly taking on the boys for Willie Mullins. And most recently in the JCB Triumph Hurdle, I thought this horse ran terrifically at 12-1. She finished third by 2.5 lengths. She just couldn't catch the winner, but she got around the race course well. She showed potential that day. First start in the Mullins barn on the 25th of February at Ferry House, 2 miles and 16th in the in a grade 3 Norman Koffler winning Juvenile Hurdle. He won by 3 and really took off clear. She's the kind of horse, she showed good potential at Cheltenham. Refreshing here on yielding ground. I'll give her a shot. It's not really as tough as the JCB, and watch out for 8-5 shit price, I know. But to recap my selection for the second, the 220 from Aintree, it's the grade 1 anniversary 4-year-old Juvenile Hurdle. We're going to take as a top selection a 4-horse Nursed. Give kudos to the 11 horse Zenta, 4-11 1 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Let's go 4-11 in your place pot. The third race, beginning of the quad pot here, the 255. It's the grade 1 Alder Hay Aintree Bull Chase. It's the grade 1 Bull Chase for Class 1 horses, going for a $300,000 purse race for 5-year-olds and upwards. Field of 6 horses going the distance of ground here let's see, 3 miles and 1/8 over the chase course. My top selection, I'm going to go take the 4-horse Conflated. I'm going to go 4-3-6 in your Tri-Cash Trifecta. 4-3-6 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 4-horse Conflated. This 9-year-old going by Yeats. Gordon Elliott trained. Donahue's up in the saddle for this one. The horse's most recent outing came the Gold Cup at Cheltenham. 3 miles and a quarter, 17th of March. And the horse finished third by 14 lengths that day. Outran the 22-1 odds that day. First off the bench, probably neither race, but he got around the race course well. He jumped a terrific race. Nothing bad about that run. Coming here to Aintree, where the horse ran a sneaky good race in this race last year. A little quicker ground. I think this horse could really improve and run a good race here today. Two back ran the grade 1 Savills Chase at Leopardstown, 3 miles and 20th of December. And the horse won by 5 that day and basically won easily. Floated over the fences. He quickened up nicely. Nothing bad about that race there. And then seasonal reappearance on the 5th of November at Down Royal, 3 miles in the grade 1 Champion Chase. He finished third by 4.5 lengths. And Boy Lane found some hidden form. The old man, Ken Boy, who finished second, really terrific run. This horse, he just needed the race there. He doesn't run well of long refreshenings. He's getting the quick refreshing here today, which I think should really suit him well. And I think he can run a good race. He ran this race last year over the on the 7th of April in yielding ground, where he had a very good second place finish behind Consday of Beau that day. Consday of Beau just had the jump on this one, but this horse, he got around the race course well. Excellent ride by Davey Russell that day. He got redemption for the Ryanair Chase of 2022 at Cheltenham, where the horse didn't finish the race. He fell out of it. What can you do? But I like the hidden form that he showed this season. He could definitely win off of this race. Even his B race could win this against these horses, so I'll use him here. The 3-horse Bravesman's Game. He ran a very good place in the Gold Cup at Cheltenham a few weeks ago off the bench. Won the King George and the Charlie Hall before that quite nicely. Ran here last year in the Mid-May's Novices Chase on the Friday program of the Grand National Meeting, where he ran quite horribly as the favorite. His wheels were spinning that day. That was a very disappointing run. But I thought last year they were just always behind the A ball. This year they finally got him right, and he's really been improving a lot. Coming here today at 3-1, I'll give him some redemption for last year's Aintree mishap. But to recount my selection for the third, the 255 from Aintree, it's a grade 1 Aintree Bull Chase. Let's take the 4-horse Conflated. Give kudos to the 3-horse Bravesman's Game. 4-3-6 Tri-Cash Trifecta. We'll use the 4 and 3 in the place or quad pod, whatever we decide to play. The co-featured 4th race now, the 330. It is the grade 1 Aintree Hurdle. It's a grade 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for a $300,000 purse race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 6 horses going 4,000 meters or 2.5 miles over the hurdle course. I'm going to take here the 1-horse Constitution Hill. I'm going to go 1-4-6 in your Tri-Cash Trifecta, and that's going to be the only way to really make money with this race. 146 TriCast Trifecta, top selection to one horse Constitution Hill, 6-year-old owned by Blue Bressel. Nicky Henderson trains. Nika de Boinville gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 14th of March at Cheltenham. 2 miles in the Grade 1 Champion Hurdle Challenge Trophy, and, stupid me, I tried beating him that day, even though I knew he was going to win. He won by 9 lengths that day, and he's probably one of the best races of his life that day. He just basically destroyed the group of horses. He could have won by more. An all-around easy run. Before that, on Boxing Day and the Christmas Hurdle at Kempton, 2 miles soft ground there, he won by 17, a very easy run. And then before that, at Newcastle in the Fighting Fifth, he won by a dozen. Again, quite easy. Coming here to Aintree today, should like the yielding going. He's done everything right. He's going to go to the longer trip, which shouldn't be a problem because I don't, he should like the longer trip. Like I said, they haven't gotten to the underside of him yet. Coming here 1-5. I know it's a shit price, but he's a very likely winner. Small, upsetter could be the 4-horse Jar Jar, but he hasn't showed great form, even in he hasn't shown great form since like 2019, 2020. But most recently he's been running good in the Grade 3s. His last Grade 1 victory was in the Mountains Hurdle at Leopardstown during the Christmas meeting of 2021, and won the Morgania Hurdle before that in November 2021. But since then he's run sneaky good races against lesser quality horses. He's gonna have to jump up a lot to win here today. If the old Jar Jar of 2019, 2020 shows up, he could win here. But Constitution Hill is an absolute beast who's going to get better and better as the next few seasons gets on. But like I said, Jar Jar could upset, but Constitution Hill, very likely winner. It's kind of race as a better. I would just play the TriCast straight, see what happens. But to tell you the truth, it's just one of those races you just watch as a fan and see what Constitution Hill does. But to recount my selection for the 4th race, 3:30 from Aintree, it's the Grade 1 Aintree Hurdle. I'm going to take the 1-horse Constitution Hill. Like I said, 146 TriCast Trifecta. That's probably going to be the only way to really make money with this race, playing that TriCast. So we're going to go to the 5th race now. Actually, we're going to skip over the 5th race. We're going to watch it as a fan because it's on the Grand National course, and those races are always exciting to run. The Hunter's Chases, they're just always very difficult races for me to handicap, and you could just go millions away. And here in the States, just the forms they give you and to find the research, it's just very hard for me to find the research for these point to point and Hunter's chases during on the point to point circuit in the UK. But we're going to skip over that race and head over to race number 6 now, the 440, which is the Red Rum Handicap Chase. It's a Class 1 Premier Handicap Chase going for a $120,000 purse. Race is for 5-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 14 horses going 3,200 meters or 2 miles over the chase course. I'm going to take here the number 7 horse, Mackenberg, as a top selection. Let's go 794 in your TriCast Trifecta. 794 TriCast Trifecta, top selection, the 7 horse, Mackenberg. Aero owned by Jukebox Jury. Donald McCain trains one. Brian Hughes gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 4th of March, 5 weeks ago at Doncaster. Good ground, 2 miles in a Class 2 handicap chase, and he finished 3rd by 2 1/4 lengths, and he jumped well. He needed that extra turn of foot. Maybe the ground was just a little bit too fast for him, but he ran his heart out. He is stepping up in class here today, but his most recent form hasn't been half bad. Gets a little bit of weight break from his last run. I think he can run a sneaky good race to finally step up with the big boys here today. 2 back at Warwick, 11th of February, 2.5 miles in Class 2 handicap chase. He finished 3rd by 19 lengths that day, and he just couldn't keep up late. Maybe the trip was too long, but again, he showed potential early on. And then on the 27th of January at Doncaster, 2 miles in Class 2 handicap chase. Stepping up in class, finished 5th by 6.5 lengths that day. That showed up as a little bit of a tougher event that day, and he just couldn't get to the front end. Also, 167 pounds on his back was quite high for him there. But before that, 25th of November at Doncaster, 2 miles 3/8 in the Class 3 handicap chase, won by 1.5 lengths. He was all out and basically could have won by another dozen, or at least a dozen, but they eased him up late. He really put on a show there, and put on a show before that at Ayr, 2 miles into 16th in the Class 3 handicap chase, winning by a head. He was all out, small margin of victory, but he took off clear late. A very nice run. Coming here today against not the world's toughest horses, I think he's your upset in your place or quad pod, so definitely use him there. I think the 9 horse Global Citizen is your second likeliest winner. Most recently in the Premier Handicap Chase at Cheltenham, he finished third by 9 1/4 lengths that day, and he got around the race course well. He needs something more, but he definitely improved there off the race before, which was the Kingwell Hurdle at Wincanton over the mile 7 furlongs, the 18th of February, off the bench. Finished fourth by 42 lengths and just got beat by a lot better horses that day. And then ran the American Grand National Far Hills over the 2 miles 5/8. He finished 7th by 47 lengths there, never getting a good run. But coming here, ran well at the last 2 festivals at Cheltenham. Coming back here, the quick turnaround, 8-1. I'll give this horse a shot. He hasn't run half bad in this in his last few, in the UK. The American race throughout, it's a really crap race. But coming here, I'm going to use him in this very, very, very wide open race. So to recap my selection for the 6 to 440 from Aintree, it's the Red Rum Handicap Chase. Going to take the 7 horse Mackenberg. Give kudos to the 9 horse Global Citizen. 794 Tricast Trifecta. 7-9 in your place or quad pot to end it off. Now the 515, the 7th race, the bumper here, we're going to skip that over. We'll watch it as a fan because it might be the Stars of Tomorrow running in it. But as a handicapper, I just can't give a tip in this run because it's just a very, very wide open race and anybody can win. But with that being said, good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And join me tomorrow for some more Aintree Grand National Meeting previews. Good luck, everybody.